Have you ever met someone and instantly felt like you've known them forever, even though it was your first encounter? Or perhaps you've experienced a deep, irrational fear of something, like an intense fear of water or being in a confined space, that simply doesn't make sense based on your current life. You may have brushed it off as a strange coincidence or just an odd feeling, but what if it's more than that? What if these feelings are clues, whispers from a time long past, memories of lives you've lived before? In this video, we will uncover 9 hidden signs that might suggest you've experienced reincarnation, that your soul has lived multiple lifetimes, carrying with it experiences, lessons, and even unresolved issues that may still affect you today. These aren't just vague feelings or coincidences. They're tangible experiences that have been reported by people from all over the world, across cultures and time periods. Stick around until the end, because you may start to realize that these subtle hints have been present in your life all along. Let's dive in. Reincarnation. The idea that our souls are reborn into new bodies after death has been a part of human culture for thousands of years. While the concept is most famously rooted in Eastern religions like Hinduism and Buddhism, it's not limited to just these faiths. In fact, the belief in reincarnation can be traced back to ancient Greece, and it continues to captivate the imaginations of people today. Whether in philosophical teachings or modern spiritual practices, the idea that our lives are part of an ongoing journey of growth, learning, and transformation is a powerful one. But how do we know if we've experienced past lives ourselves? How can we recognize the subtle ways in which our soul might carry the imprints of these previous lifetimes? Let's explore 9 signs that may suggest you've been reincarnated, not as abstract concepts, but as real experiences you might be living right now. 1. Unexplained fears or phobias. Have you ever felt a crippling fear that seems to have no logical explanation? It's not uncommon to feel irrationally afraid of things like water, heights, or enclosed spaces. But what if this fear isn't rooted in your current life experiences? What if it's actually a trace of a past life trauma that's carrying over? Imagine for a moment, what if your soul had lived through an event in a previous life that was so traumatic, it left behind an imprint that now triggers these fears in your present existence? Studies, like the one conducted by the University of Virginia's Division of Perceptual Studies, have shown that many children who claim to remember past lives often have intense, unexplained phobias that align with how they believe they died in a previous lifetime. For example, a child who recalls drowning may develop a deep fear of water in this life, even if they've never had a negative experience with it. This type of fear often resists logical explanation. You might know, for instance, that flying is statistically safer than driving, but your anxiety about air travel doesn't seem to ease, no matter how much you rationalize it. So, what's happening here? If you find yourself with fears that don't make sense, it could be that your soul is carrying the imprint of past life traumas, an emotional echo from a time long gone. 2. Vivid dreams of other times or places. Now, let's take a closer look at the mysterious power of dreams. Dreams have always been seen as a portal to our subconscious, allowing us glimpses into hidden thoughts and emotions that lie beneath the surface of our waking life. But what if some dreams go even deeper than that, beyond this lifetime, and into another one you may have already lived? Imagine dreaming of a place you've never visited, yet every detail feels familiar, almost as if you could describe it by heart. Or perhaps you dream of living a life so different from the one you have now, yet it feels strangely personal, almost like it's yours. These kinds of vivid, recurring dreams could be much more than just your mind playing with random images. They could be echoes of a life you once lived, memories carried over from past lives. One of the leading experts in the study of past lives, Dr. Jim Tucker, has documented compelling cases where individuals, especially children, start to recall detailed memories from other lifetimes, often through dreams. What's remarkable is that these dreams aren't just typical fragments or abstract visuals. They're deeply vivid, detailed scenes that feel more like reliving a memory than just experiencing a fleeting dream. For example, some individuals dream of specific historical events, people, or settings that they couldn't possibly know about through their present-day experiences. In many instances, these dreams contain elements that have later been confirmed to align with actual historical facts or even geographical locations. Imagine waking up from one of these dreams, the details lingering in your mind, the scent of a foreign landscape, the faces of people you don't know in this life, but somehow recognize on a deeper level, or even a particular setting that seems frozen in time, like a castle, temple, or village from a bygone era. This sense of familiarity can be so intense that it almost feels as if you've slipped into someone else's memories, or perhaps your own, from a different time. If you've ever awoken from a dream with the feeling that you've truly lived through the experience, as though it was more than just a figment of your imagination, then it may be a powerful sign. Your soul could be gently urging you to reconnect with a past life, reminding you of the experiences, lessons, or places you once knew well. And speaking of life-changing experiences, if you're ready to attract huge wealth effortlessly, starting today, don't miss out on a shocking discovery that's going viral right now, one that's already changed the lives of countless people. A rogue NASA scientist has revealed hidden wealth secrets that are capturing the attention of millions, and it's creating waves across social media. Make sure to check out the link in the comments below to learn how these groundbreaking insights could open up your life to unimaginable abundance. Don't miss your chance to be part of this phenomenon that's already transforming lives. Now let's dive back into our exploration. 3. Inexplicable skills or talents. Another sign that you might have been reincarnated could show up in the form of talents or skills that seem to come easily to you. Talents that you never actively learned or practiced. Have you ever picked up an instrument and immediately been able to play it? Or learned a new language and found certain words or phrases already felt familiar? It's as though your soul already knows how to do things that you've never been formally trained in. Reincarnation theory suggests that skills and knowledge can be carried forward from one life to the next. Imagine if, in a past life, you were a musician, a painter, or a craftsman. Your soul may retain a form of muscle memory or intuitive understanding, which would make these abilities reappear in your current life, even if you have no direct experience with them. For example, there's the case of a young boy from Scotland, Cameron Macaulay, who at the age of 2 began talking about a family he had in a place he had never visited in this life. He described the house, the landscape, and even the type of toilet used, all of which turned out to be eerily accurate when his family traveled to the location he described, an island off the coast of Scotland. If you have similar unexplained abilities or instincts, it might be because your soul is recalling the knowledge from a past life. 4. Deep connections to specific cultures or time periods. Have you ever felt a strong, inexplicable connection to a certain culture, time period, or historical event? This goes beyond simple fascination or academic interest. It's as if you've been there before, perhaps in a past life. You might find yourself drawn to the art, customs, or philosophy of a particular era, feeling a profound sense of nostalgia for a time you've never actually lived in. Many people who believe in reincarnation report feeling a sense of home in cultures or places that they've never visited in this life. Dr. Brian Weiss, a psychiatrist who specializes in past life regression therapy, has worked with numerous patients who, under hypnosis, have described memories of lives in ancient Egypt, Greece, or other long-gone civilizations. These connections can manifest as an intuitive understanding of certain customs, an emotional attachment to a historical figure, or even a deep-rooted sense of nostalgia for a way of life that no longer exists. If you feel drawn to certain places, art forms, or practices that are foreign to your current life, it might be a signal from your soul's past. 5. Unresolved connections with people. Have you ever met someone and immediately felt like you've known them for years, even though it was your first time crossing paths? On the flip side, have you ever felt an intense dislike or even animosity towards someone for no apparent reason? These strong feelings, whether positive or negative, could be signals from your past life connections. Many people believe that we travel with the same group of souls across different lifetimes, sometimes playing different roles in each other's lives. For example, someone who was your parent in one life might be your child or partner in another. These connections often manifest as immediate recognition or inexplicable bonds, and they may explain why some relationships feel effortless, while others are challenging or filled with tension. You might also experience a sense of déjà vu with certain people, as though you've been connected to them before in some meaningful way. These connections could be opportunities for your soul to resolve past life karma or to experience something you missed in a previous incarnation. 6. Physical marks or sensations. This next sign is particularly fascinating. It's believed that our bodies might carry imprints of past life experiences, quite literally. People who have birthmarks, scars, or unusual physical sensations may find that these marks correspond to injuries or events from past lives. Dr. Stevenson, another pioneer in past life research, spent decades studying children who claimed to remember past lives and found that many of these children had physical marks or defects that seemed directly linked to their past life memories. For instance, one child who remembered being shot in a previous life had a birthmark in the exact spot where the wound had been. Similarly, children who recalled drowning in their past life might experience breathing issues in this life. Even if you don't have a noticeable mark, your body might still carry the imprint of past experiences through unexplained sensations or phantom memories. You might feel a sudden sensation of long hair brushing your shoulder, even though you've never had long hair in this life. Or you might experience the sensation of wearing clothes from another era. 7. Déjà vu. We've all experienced déjà vu, that strange feeling that we've been in a situation before, or that we've already had a conversation with someone, even though we know it's happening for the first time. While science often chalks this up to a brain glitch, some spiritual traditions see it as a clue to something deeper, a connection to a past life. From a reincarnation perspective, déjà vu might be your soul's way of recognizing that a current experience aligns closely with something it's already lived through. It's as if your soul is experiencing the same moment once again, echoing a memory from a different time. If you've ever felt a surge of emotion, joy, sadness, or even fear during a déjà vu moment, this could be your soul recognizing the emotional significance of the moment in relation to a past life. 8. Unusual childhood memories. Many of the most compelling cases of past life memories come from children, especially between the ages of 2 and 5. This is when a child's mind is still fresh and open, and they often speak about lives, places, or events they couldn't possibly know about. Some children describe events from previous lives in detail, even providing information that can be verified by research. One of the most famous cases is that of James Leninger, a young boy who, from the age of 2, began describing vivid memories of a past life as a World War I fighter pilot. He knew details about aircraft and military operations that he had no way of learning. If you've experienced childhood memories that don't quite fit with your current life, or if you've heard your own children speak of things that don't match their present life experiences, it's possible that these are echoes of a past incarnation. 9. A persistent sense of not belonging. The final sign we'll explore is one that resonates deeply with many people, a persistent feeling of not truly belonging in the world around you. This isn't just a sense of being different or unique. It's a much more profound feeling, as if you're out of sync with your surroundings or even with the modern world as a whole. It's like a quiet, constant pull within you, as though something inside longs for another time, place, or even lifestyle that feels more right than the one you're living now. People who experience this feeling might find that, despite their efforts to connect, they always feel somewhat like an outsider looking in. They may struggle to relate to the fast-paced, technology-driven nature of the modern world, feeling a kind of nostalgia for a life that's slower, simpler, or more in tune with nature, even if they've never actually lived such a life. This sensation goes beyond just a preference or a hobby. It's a kind of homesickness for a place, a time, or a way of living that feels deeply familiar, as though it's a part of who they are at their very core. For those who believe in reincarnation, this displacement may be seen as a soul memory from a past life. It could be that in another lifetime, they lived in a quiet village, a rural setting, or perhaps even an ancient civilization that valued close-knit communities and traditional ways. Or maybe they were part of a culture that embraced spirituality, art, or knowledge in a way that resonates more than anything they encounter today. The connection feels powerful, and no matter how much they try to belong in the present, they're left with a yearning that seems to transcend this life. Imagine, for example, feeling an almost magnetic attraction to a particular historical period, the Renaissance, ancient Egypt, or the Victorian era. You might find yourself fascinated by the customs, art, or beliefs of a specific culture you've never encountered, yet something about it seems to call to you. Some people even describe experiencing sudden emotions or sensations when they come across objects, music, or images from certain eras, as if they're tapping into a part of themselves that once lived that reality. In addition, this feeling of not belonging might extend to a sense of disconnect from societal norms, trends, or even certain relationships in the present. You may feel that the concerns of daily life don't quite capture the depth or purpose you're seeking. Some feel driven to pursue ancient spiritual practices, holistic living, or knowledge about topics from a long-forgotten time, all because these things feel like a natural fit, even if they're uncommon today. If you feel that you're somehow out of place or living in the wrong time, or if you carry a strong pull toward unfamiliar places and cultures, it might just be a whisper from your soul, a reminder of experiences and ways of life that you've known before. Embracing this sense of otherness could be a sign that your soul remembers, and perhaps even longs for, the richness of a past existence. In conclusion, whether or not you resonate with these signs, the key takeaway is that our lives are full of mysteries, some of which might be tied to past experiences we've forgotten. Reincarnation may offer an intriguing lens through which to understand these unexplained feelings, fears, and talents. However, it's also important to remember that the present life is the most precious one. It's the one where we have the opportunity to grow, learn, and evolve. If you've experienced any of these signs, take them as invitations to reflect on the deeper layers of your existence and to live this life fully, with curiosity and openness. Thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out the next one for more fascinating topics. See you next time.